Good evening and welcome to the Young and Prolific Show. I'm Prolific B, and today we are going to actually talk about Miss Ghana UK, because I've got a beautiful young lady here. When I say young, you know, it's a black don't crack. Yes. I've got Silla, my beautiful sister, who is one of the co-directors of Miss Ghana UK. So today we're trying to get people to recruit and then come on board, and so she's going to give us a synopsis of Miss Ghana, and then we're going to delve into it to say why women should actually take on this journey. So Silla, my beautiful sis, welcome and thank you for coming today.
Thank you. Thanks, B. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
And thanks to our producer.
Yes.
So Miss Ghana UK. I think it says it in the title, Miss Ghana UK. We our slogan is beauty with brains, and it's beauty with brains for a reason. We understand that yes, beauty is there, but beauty is fleeting.
Precisely.
So we delve more into the person, not your typical. It's a beauty pageant, but it's not your typical beauty pageant where we just say, oh, people will just come on stage and prance about and you just look on the outside. We go into the inside as well by supporting these young ladies with life skills, you know, just helping them to kind of find themselves. Yes, parents do their bit at home, but we kind of support, we add on a bit to support the parents. So again, they're like our little sisters or our nieces or our daughters. So, you know, we as an organization has a big team behind us, that mentors that are there for the 12 weeks that we're with the young ladies to support them with various things. And we do have various activities which links into the initiatives that we as an organization have.
Okay, thank you so much for saying that. I think one of the things that I was so taken back, and I always say this because this is not the first time you've been on the show, that I was so surprised about the intelligence of these young ladies. Because when you say beauty with brains, it's not just having the wig on or the makeup or anything. We're talking about actually using your brain matter.
Yeah.
Because when I got there, I found some of the girls that they were doctors, some of them we're talking about young ladies that have a vision in life.
Yeah.
They've got a vision in life.
Yeah.
And I think that is what sets apart Miss Ghana UK, because you know you get other pageants.
Oh yeah.
So if you, in a way, give us how the criteria, how you select them. You know, like when somebody wants to, because now you're on the recruiting stage now.
Yeah.
So the recruiting stage is trying to get it's not about the numbers does matter, but we're talking about the quality.
Yeah.
So what is the criteria by which you guys select the ladies that you come on to be part of this beautiful event?
So the initial stage is basically we're looking at young women from the ages of 18 to 26. And then you have to be of Ghanaian descent. So those are the main things, and that's the very early stage. And then after that, we'll get a lot of young women that apply, but we do have an audition stage where we'll kind of delve into just getting to know them, and then getting to know us as an organization as well. But before the young women come, we always advise them to do, you know, to have do a bit of research about the organization. And then that way, when you find young women that have come to you and they say, I want to be part of this pageant, I want to do A, B, and C. We believe that if this is something that you want to do, you would have done your research. So when they come to the auditions, we ask them questions, a bit about them, and then find out a bit about what they know, you know, about the organization. Because if you think about it, if you want to be part of it, and this in itself is also basically teaching the young women for interview skills. Because if you come, the first time you come to, you said you want to be part of Miss Ghana UK, you would have to do your research. And then you come in, then we talk to you, we find out a bit about you, you tell us, well, we ask you a couple of questions about the organization, and then from there we will find out where they live and all of that style, bit of background, and then see if they can cut it to the next stage. So the criteria is not that deep, it's just basically 18 to 26 and then of Ghanaian descent. And then the keenness is important. You can tell that someone is there for a reason. And a lot of the young women can't come basically to say that, okay, I'm here, I want to build myself up to here. Some will come in and say, I'm shy, I'm an introvert, I don't like doing A, B, and C, but with regards to my career, I would want to do A, B, and C. Maybe I would be a public speaker, but I need to find my feet. So then they'll come in and they'll tell us that at auditions. So with that, you can actually see that this person is really keen and wants to know a bit about the organization and wants to be part of it for a reason. They've set a reason for themselves. Me, for instance, I'm an introvert. I mean, people that I went to school with look at me and they're like, you, I don't talk. I never used to talk and stuff. So I have young women that come to auditions and I can just see that this person has a lot of things within and wants it to shine, but they need help. They need that support to get them there. So we as an organization will, support them, empower them, because everybody has something. Like I use myself as an example. I'm very quiet and all of that stuff. But through years and various things, I see that I have so many things, and I had things embedded in me, and I needed to let it, come out by helping young women to also find themselves. So during auditions, we look at all of that stuff, and then we help these young women for when they join us. So the thing is, we could get maybe 50 people, 50 young women applying, coming to auditions. The only thing is we can't take all 50. So that is why we use these various criteria to just select and then narrow it down to the numbers that we can cope with. And then usually sometimes we'll tell them, oh, you can come, join us next year, because we can see that maybe you could have a 16 or 17-year-old. We'll say, oh, we can see that you're really keen, you can do it, but let's give you another year. And then by maybe when you're 18, you'll be more matured and stuff like that. So we do talk to them. We don't just drop them because they're a certain way, but we delve into who they are, and then they also sometimes people come to the auditions and then they realize that, oh, it's not just a pageant. I'm gonna have to work. Yeah. And because I'm going to have to work, I don't think I'm ready. So then they would just back off and not do it. So you're talking about the discipline aspect of it? The discipline aspects, and then also, some of them actually think that it's just prancing on stage and looking beautiful, but it's not. There's more to Miss Ghana UK than meets the eye. So you're talking about body, so you're talking about character building. Go on. Character building, empowering, basically empowering them, and then also there's like Miss Ghana UK. You can get when the young ladies come in and they think that it's all beauty, right? You can just see it straight at the audition stage, and then when we talk to them, then they're like, oh wow, okay. First impression, yes, and then when they start. Those that actually come through after the auditions, and they come through about maybe week 2, 3, then they sit up and say, oh, we thought it was A, B, and C, but it's this. And then, because they're coming in, weekly, we do it for 12 weeks, because they're coming in. That's weekly. After you've selected. After the auditions after the selection, we have 12 weeks with them. 12 plus weeks with them. And then when they, during that time, some of them make up their mind, like first 2, 3 meetings, they can tell if they're going to survive or not. But they would, when it gets to that stage, you can tell those that are here to work, And we always say this, yes, it's a beauty pageant, but it's not your typical beauty pageant, because it's attached with education, like you said, intelligence. Intelligence. We all have that intelligence, but you kind of sometimes have to need it out of that individual. Do you understand? We all smart. It's if you have that intelligence. That is another debate, but it can go on that. We all do. We all have something. So we kind of help them, and this is why I mentioned earlier that Miss Ghana also teach them life skills. Miss Ghana UK teach them life skills, and so we help them bring out what they have within them, what they have embedded in them. And another thing to Miss Ghana UK, your normal beauty pageants, they'll say you have to be 5'10", you have to be this. No, body image. And we don't do that. And we have a reason as to why we don't do that, because then if you do that with everything going on, I mean, it's been, Miss Ghana will be 33 this year. So it's not something that we've done. And the reason is because we're trying to just help that young woman find their feet. So if you're trying to help them find their feet, why do you say that? Because you're 5'4",
or you're certain size,
or you're size 16, you can't do it? No, just because they're that way doesn't mean that they're not. Do you understand?
They're not articulate.
They're not articulate. They're not smart. Or
precisely.
When you do that, you're bringing that young woman down.
100%.
You know, and that's not what we're there for. We're here to actually help that young woman
build them up,
go up. There's a saying we could help a sister up.
That's it.
That's basically it. Yeah. And that's why we have that. You know, we have those things in place that when the young woman is coming, you could be 5'3", you could be what. The main thing is you
have to be confident.
Confident. You're keen.
Yeah.
You know, the drive that you have would actually help you to get through to the 12 weeks and then onto the stage. And it's not just that. You can bring that drive to work. You can bring that drive to
when you go to your career, even when you're getting married, in your relationships.
That drive. We all need that drive, and that is those 12 weeks that you're meant to be there for 3 o'clock. We're doing this, we have this activity, we have someone coming in to talk, making yourself available and ensuring that you're getting there at that set time. All of that helps you build yourself to
esteem.
Thank you. And it will build you up onto your, when you're working. We've had various past contestants, or we call them the Royals, call them Miss Ghana UK Royals, and those are past contestants. And they would have had, interviews, because the age, remember the age is 18 to 26. So they're still finding their feet, they're building their careers and stuff. Some of them actually go to interviews and they talk about Miss Ghana, their experience. Yeah. And that gives them something to talk about.
Confidence.
The confidence to talk about. And then obviously the employer would see that you have done these various things, the activities, the various things that we do. So Miss Ghana is not just that beauty.
Do you get psychologists, or when I say psychologists, not too deep, but like sometimes in our community, it's like we try and keep things internal. So even if somebody's going through something at home, whatever is going on, it's like when they come out, sometimes somebody will behave a certain way, and they feel that being promiscuous or being a certain way empowers them. But I realized that with Miss Ghana UK, one of the things that you did is like finding yourself, trying to tap into that sense that whatever you're going through, there's a helping hand. I think you guys have that, and that's one of the things that I think I was impressed.
Yeah, we do. So like what I said, that we do life skills, the various activities, all these activities that we have or we set up for the show is actually, it lies with what the young people are going through. So the good question that you just asked about psychology, we do have a mental health a practitioner who is with us. She's part of the team. So we have sessions. Yeah. I won't call it session, it's called workshop.
It's a workshop. It's a workshop.
So she'll come in, we'll have days that the workshop is, we're doing a workshop on mental health, come in and talk to them. And then apart from that, we have mentors. And these mentors are involved, with them during the what do you call it?
The process
of So you have that, and then basically the mental health practitioner will come and do workshops. And when they do workshops, it does really open up a lot of, opens up a can of worms.
It's not that it opens up a can of worms, but what it does is it opens them up to realize that they feel safe and to be able to sort of like say things and not feel that they're being judged.
We don't judge them. And the thing is, apart from having, when I say the open a can of worms, is they like you said, adding on to what you said, they're free. And they're able to seek help if needs be. And even if it's not from us, they're signposted to the various places that they can, they can ask for help and that. And then apart from that, the mentors on board, the mentors in our team, would they have one-to-one with them. So they're safe. They see them as, we tried to even drop that auntie thing, but it didn't work. We're family. So they'll call auntie, auntie B, auntie B, A, B, and C. They have this, and from day dot, they still have these relationships with these, our mentors till present. Those that have did it, years ago still have relationships with their mentors. So that's what helps, you know, these young women to come into to feel free, you know. And when we say the life skills, the activities that we do, I don't know if you know, but we do also have an initiative called sickle cell awareness, where we create sickle cell awareness. Yeah, and that is, again, we know is one of our thing, as in.
And you guys do a pound a pad too.
A pound a pad. I will say maybe if I say someone might find it, whatever, but I would say Miss Ghana UK actually started a pound for a pad. You know, we started it years ago, and you know, we use it. We take it more to Ghana. Yeah. You know, to support other schools in Ghana, the young women, and then orphanage. You know, so we do all that. So we have the initiatives that we have is basically the mental health. And then we have the sickle cell awareness, and then we have the mentoring program. And the mentoring program is similar to what I just basically explained to you. Yeah, it's just basically, you know, the mentors are there. We call it big sister, big brother. So the mentors are there to support these young women, see them as their sisters, nieces, cousins, or whatever, and are there to try and do and mentor them. And we have different people. We have professionals that come in and talk to them. You know, about various things when it even comes to their career. You know, comes to different things. We talk to them about, like you did ask earlier, about body shaming. We have people that are on the team that will talk to them. I'm not ignoring you. Somebody sent a question, so I was trying to look for that question to give to you. So if I'm not looking at you. Okay. Yeah. Right. So I'm still listening. Sorry. That's right. Yeah. So then, you know, like you did mention body shaming. Yeah. So we have people on the team that talk about, you know, how to carry yourself as a lady, what to wear, how not to wear, you know, different things. So we have a full-packed, team that are there to support these young ladies in different things. So the life skills that we said, that I mentioned earlier, that we have, you know, we teach them life skills and all of that stuff. Everything is linked into things that are current. Yes. You know, that we know that the young people are going here. I can't say young women, but young people. Young people are going through, and we all know that mental health is a big thing. And you know, it's nice to know that, you know, when the young women that would approach us or we'll talk to them about it, when you see them at the end of it, you just feel this joy. You can't put money on it. But I know when you said that, what it reminded me of was, one, we are parents, which is one. Yeah. We were young girls once. Yes. So even though you're talking about generations, there are things that it doesn't matter what generation you are, you go through it. Yeah. Which is like relationship, trying to understand who you are, trying to fit into a society, you know, those kind of stuff. And I feel that Miss Ghana gives you that outside of the normal, like you go to secondary school, you're trying to make friends, you're trying to do all those stuff. So I think this is one, you know, sometimes I keep saying that there's a reason why I choose things to support. Yeah. And I think, because first, my thing was like, another pageant. Yeah, another pageant, these girls. And then they come on stage, or like behind the scenes, and then you hear them talk. Yeah. Sometimes the sense, the eloquence. Yeah. I just feel, wow. You know, sorry to interject. No, it's okay. You just said something. Just recently, we went to an event for, I think it was Ghanaian independence. One of our royals organized an event, and she's doing very well within her career. She's a counselor basically, and she did this event. And as soon as she started talking, so maybe so now, like, yeah, there she goes, Miss God, my name is, you know, and we said that we were sitting there and we saw that, and it was nice to see that. Has she been part of Miss Ghana before? Yeah, she's a royal. So she's a royal. Okay. Oh, okay. She's a royal. Okay. Miss Ghana UK royal. So basically, the funny thing is, when she did that, it was quite funny that she talked, and the way she presented herself and the way she spoke and everything. Then at the end of it, she said it herself. She said, "I won Miss Eloquence, and this is, I'm still practicing what I picked up, you know, from when all those years ago when I did Miss Ghana UK." So that in itself, you know, and this is just one that I've just mentioned, but there's loads of young women out there that we've worked with that you see the difference. And what we always tell them is, you come through this process, You don't have to be a winner. It's great if you win. But there's loads too that have come through, and like I said, there are royals that are doing so much because they picked up certain skills and they've applied it, and they're doing and added theirs on. We always say this, yes, we do what we can. 12 weeks, we only have 12 weeks. We can't change your daughter.
Months.
Yeah, we can't change your daughter. What we can do is to add on to, you know, and then like you said,
or try and get their own personality out.
Help them out. Because there's various things. There's also years back, there was a young woman that was part of it. She doesn't wear high heels. She doesn't even know how to wear. Her mom actually came back to us and said, thank you, I can actually see my daughter wearing high heels. That in itself is quite, you know,
empowering.
Thank you. So it makes you want to do it more and more. And every time we do it, you do it with that joy. It's not, like I said, it's not tangible. You can't put money, you can't cost it. Because it's that expensive.
Yes.
You know, and it's because of how we feel, the way we feel, you know, about what we do.
Yes.
And what you see through the young woman at the end of it is what makes us do it year on and year out. Yes, we took a couple of years off because of various circumstances, various things happen, but we're back on track now. And this year we're in, and we're, you know, we're looking for that young woman or the young women that wants to come through this journey with us.
I know when you said that, it wasn't so much as that you took some time off, but you want the quality, because you've set a standard.
Oh yeah, we
whereby that standard.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people just do things because, oh, they say we're doing it. But I think Miss Ghana, you guys have actually cornered the niche of we want quality women. So we're not just going to just do it ad hocly.
No.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because I know the process whereby you guys stopped. We saw the stuff.
Yeah.
And as you rightly said, you're looking at upgrading or giving people that image of quality that you cannot do anything less.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So if people don't understand why you guys took some time, it wasn't because you couldn't. It was the fact that you want the standard to be maintained. Because the last one was your 30th.
Yeah.
And boy, it was astronomical.
It was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing.
It was.
The young women that we worked with, we had the winners were all in the medical field.
Yeah.
So we had a doctor, we had a pharmacist, and we had a head nurse. Or
pointing
yes, you know, and they're doing so well. It was just really. But another thing is, as much as you know, they're all of what I've just said. Yes. We need to understand that our Ghanaian women, our Ghanaian families have, you know, good stuff. Yeah. Should I say we have good stock?
Yes, we do have good quality,
you know,
stuff.
So the young women that won that Miss Ghana at 30, they're doing so well, and throughout their reign, they still do stuff. Yes, you know, they still do stuff. Like the current, Miss what's her name? Eunice. Miss Eunice, Ajua Eunice. Yeah. She did so well with her year as well. Yeah. She actually went to Ghana. I know. Said a few things, went to work in hospitals, you know, because that's her field, you know. And when she came back, she was still doing things here as well. And, you know, I mean, what can I say to that?
She's been to, oh my God, she's talked about her experiences. You said she meant the Otumfo
and Anahima.
Yeah. And she was like, oh my God, I'm standing there, I'm thinking. Yeah. And you know what? And I just felt, wow. Yeah. The excitement. Yeah. She appreciated the culture. Yes. And this is one of the things too that I think Miss Ghana, and that's the reason why today when I asked you about if somebody wants to be Miss Ghana, the percentage of stuff, and it goes, so as long as she's got a heritage. Yeah,
the Ghanaian heritage. Because you have a few that, you know, like these young women that I just, I'm using the most recent young women that we worked with. They have, the funny thing is they're all born and bred. Yeah. But they all speak the dialects. 100%. And the funny thing is, it was so good for them because when we went to Otumfo, for instance, and we went to see Mampong Hema, and then 2 of them are from Mampong. Okay. And straight away they're like, oh, you know, they were excited to tell their parents that, you know, they've met Mampong Hema and they're doing A, B, and C. So that in itself is, again,
it's self-esteem.
Yes. And Miss Ghana UK, you know, we say traditional culture, you know, intelligence, all of that stuff. That in itself is something, because these young women live here, born and bred, they live here. Yes, mom and dad are doing what they're doing back home, but when they, you know,
they don't interact with proper culture.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes I think when they go back home, you go on holiday, then you come back. So when these ladies dived deep, you know, as in going to Asante, and then we got them to do, there's a school that we've actually, should I say, we're supporting a couple of schools, girls' schools.
Yeah.
And there's two schools, it's Sewanyako and Ifiakobi, and they're all in the Ashanti region, because what we tend to do is, and this is, sorry, I'm just kind of going into the foundation stuff.
Yeah.
But we took these young women, and you should have seen the young girls at those schools when they saw them. They were ecstatic. And when they found out that they were within the medical, you know, their career path within medical, they actually, you know, they were so excited. They were asking questions, you know, and the young women were, you know, so that in itself again is mentoring.
Yes.
You know, so they all talked to them about various things. The Pound a Pad initiative, that was when we were able to actually support these young women with this, you know, the sanitary towels that we took. So we've adopted these schools and we've promised to do certain things, but we'll come to that later. But in a nutshell, the young women that actually were part of the last, I'm just talking about the most recent event, the most recent show. Just, I don't know. They just really loved it, and they're still doing things. I mean, there'll be an event, and we'll call, you know, the queen, and she's happy to oblige, and she'll just go and do it. So yeah.
But also, you know, she's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's why I've called her on. I think there was this mental health stuff that we were doing in NDC. This is not political. But I found her, and then she goes, "Oh, let me check with Silla and May and see whether." And then you guys said, "Cool." And then she came and she talked about it, and I feel that is it's like you serve the community. I think that is one of the aspects. It's like you don't become Miss Ghana and just sit in one place. Yeah, it's like you become Miss Ghana and then you serve the community both here and in Ghana. And I think that is one of the most fantastic things that you guys continue to do. But if somebody wants to apply to become, you know, to be part of Miss Ghana, what would you say to encourage? Because I know there's some of the young ladies that they still see it as a pageant. What are the words? You don't necessarily have to like begin this. What do you feel would be the selling point if somebody wants to come on board? Yeah. So when I say the selling point, I know you're talking about empowerment and all those stuff. What would you say to somebody that would tip the scale for the person to think about it?
I'll say, I think it's more, usually we'll say, you think you know yourself, but you really don't, you know. With everything that I've said earlier, you know, you want to be that person that stands out. Yeah. Stand out wherever you go. Positively. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Positively. Yeah, that's key. You know, you want to stand out in your career. You want to stand out as a person within your community. You want, you know, you have plans as to growing. And as a black woman, knowing your identity, your heritage, knowing that and selling it, you know, positively. Yeah, you know, if that's you, and you really want to, you know, you want to embrace that, embrace your culture. Yeah. Miss Ghana UK, yes, you know, we're happy to have you. You can apply, and then we can take it from there. Like I said, even if you don't win, it's not about the winning. It's not about the winning. The self-esteem building. Yes, even if you don't win, you know, because of everything that I've just said, this is what you want to do. You will still make it, and you know, change your circumstance or change the narrative for yourself. So yeah. Okay, so you know, I asked you why you didn't take the younger, you know, the 16-year-olds and stuff, and you gave me a breakdown of it, because I know there's some of the young girls that they are very, very matured in terms of intelligence, whereby they feel, oh, we've been left out. I know there's a reason behind why you guys just chose the 18 upwards, because I know the age is 18 in everything that we do. Yeah. So with the 16-year-olds, So 16,
17, yeah.
Yeah, 16, 17. Yeah, that age, we used to have 17. You know, we've worked with the younger ones, but it's a bit, it's
challenging.
It's a bit challenging to have that age. Yes, it's fine to, you know, don't want to discriminate, but it's challenging in the sense that when, you know, 18 they've started, they're going to university or they're done with college, you know, GCSE.
Going to college, yeah.
They're done with GCSE, they're going to college, you know, they can do more on their own. Whereas with the 16, as much as the 16-year-olds, you know, you have the, they can still go to school and do stuff by themselves. So it's a bit challenging in the sense that, say the 16-year-old was to win, for instance, and we have to take this just 16-year-old to Ghana. There's a lot that parents,
protocols and stuff,
that you have to go through. So it's easier and safer to go with the age 18 you know, to 16, but sometimes 17 and a half, where we know that before they get on stage they'll be 18, we can consider those, but 16 is a bit young.
Oh, okay. So it's not that we're being discriminated against,
No.
it's just that we're just trying to be safe and protect you.
That's it.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So I know that you today I was talking to you about Black Barbie,
Yes.
and I was saying that we as a culture or a community, as Black people, we have been described as like, when people see you and you look a certain way, you are deemed as promiscuous and all that stuff. But I think, and I still go back to the reason why I still support Miss Ghana, is the fact that you've been able to take out that sense of your outwardness. You cannot be judged by your outwardness alone, but your intelligence has to be the key. Now, when you are talking to young ladies, in terms of, let's say that they've come to you, they've got some challenges, because at least one thing as grown-ups that we know as young ladies is everything that we do as women, there's challenges. So as a young lady, if she comes to you and she goes, oh, Auntie Silla, you know, I'm of this age, I'm going through something in a relationship and whatever it is, how do you embrace that? Because I know that they're going to come on and it's going to be different facets of what they're going through emotionally. Because if the person is not emotionally equipped to come on stage, because sometimes something will throw you off. Something will throw you off. How do you sort of like convince them that, or talk to them for them to understand that you putting yourself in a certain position gives you a way forward?
So this is where the empowerment comes in. You know, we empower these young women. Like you started, your question started with the Black Barbie. You said you kind of have to look a certain way before you are accepted. That's what you're saying, right? So this is where the empowerment comes in. We explain to you that, you know, we'll empower you to stand on your feet. Yes. Beauty, yes, you have it, but you don't have to sell it the way you're selling it, right? Because, and then in this case, we also would have the mental health practitioner on board as well, who will bring in the other aspect to it. We will do the lifestyle, the home stuff, you know, trying to encourage you that this is not the way to go, and we'll give you examples and as to what will happen if A, B, and C was to, you know, if you were to do it this way. Whereas if you do it the other way, which is, you know, the positive stuff, this is how you can arrive. It's up to you, and that's where even the age comes in. And these things, I think when it comes to it, you can't really say that because this person is 19 they'll do this, or they're 20. Yes, 26 they'll do it a certain way. Maturity, yes, is there, but sometimes you just need to remind them. So this is you empowering them, reminding them that this is who you are. You need to stand on your own 2 feet. You know, you're a solid Black woman, building yourself for your future and the various things. So we'll do that side, and then we'll get the mental health practitioner also in to also bring that aspect, because sometimes when you dive deep, you will find out that there's something else behind all of that questions, you know. And so then in that aspect, we don't do it. We have to make sure that it's, you know, is done professionally.
That's it. Okay. So I know you collaborate with certain organizations, can you give us the reasoning and some of the names of the people that you collaborate with and what they're all about?
Okay,
basically.
So when you say collaborate, as in
Sponsors and
okay. Yeah. So when it comes to sponsors, so what we do, we believe we have the platform.
Yes.
We have the platform to help any organization, any company with their, with their products. Because Miss Ghana, we say that Miss Ghana UK, the audience is basically United Nations, and we say it's United Nations because the young women on the stage have various friends from different countries. They have various ages, mom's friend, mom's this, all of that. So we believe that we have the stage, or we have the audience, that the target audience that these various organizations are looking for. So companies that we've worked with quite a lot of organizations. We've worked, but some from Ghana and some here. We've worked with Tapston for years. We've worked with Keek. They were a very big sponsor the last time. There's so many of them that we've worked with. Off the top of my head, it's not coming out, and if I haven't mentioned any organization, please do it on our website.
Yes.
However, this year we're working with the Ghana Cocoa Marketing company, and it's a UK company, it's limited company, and what this company does is a subsidiary of Ghana Cocoa Board. Okay. And we're working with them this year because our theme for Miss Ghana UK 25 is basically about cocoa. Cocoa, the past, present, and the future. And if you recall, when we spoke earlier, I said that Miss Ghana UK is not just a beauty thing, educational is attached to it. It's educational as well. So we chose cocoa being a solid, I'll say,
because Ghana is identified, from time, it was golden cocoa.
Yeah. And Ghana is actually the second largest
producer.
That's it. So we felt we have these young women in this country, Ghanaian with Ghanaian heritage, that we hear cocoa all the time. Some have never seen. We eat chocolate. We buy hot chocolate. We do all of that stuff. Some of them actually haven't even seen a pod before. We hear it, and it's just a sounding thing is in your mind. So we felt like, when we went to Ghana with the Miss Ghana 30, with Eunice, we had the opportunity to visit a factory, and honestly, it was an eye opener for all of us. And it was an eye opener because we felt, yes, again, Ghana does cocoa, but this cocoa is not just the chocolate. There's so many things that comes from just that one pod.
Exactly.
We get body cream, we get beauty from cocoa, we get edible from
oil,
cocoa.
Exactly.
Yeah, liquor from cocoa. So we felt like, you know what, this is something that we can take back.
Can tap into, basically,
Take back and let the others back home, which is here in the UK, that don't know what we have as a country, to learn more about it.
That's it.
So that's the reason why we chose,
cocoa,
the theme, cocoa.
So this year's theme,
the theme is cocoa, past, present, and then in future.
Nice.
And this way, like I said earlier, education. The young women will do some research. The company that we're collaborating, which is the Ghana Cocoa Marketing organization, they will also come in and do talks. We do some, trips to go and find out a bit more about cocoa and learn more about it, and actually to help the young women to actually say, these days, young women don't just do 9 to 5. They all have their sidekicks to find the side hustles, as we call it. That's the word.
Yeah, that's a hustle,
The side hustles. Then could actually find out that, I could actually have a cocoa business. And cocoa is not just the farming aspect. There's more.
Precisely.
So we figured that if we're picking this theme to again broaden the minds of our young people, and then also the people as a
promoting
whole,
a country,
promoting the country, because Miss Ghana, we do tourism. We do, we promote, we're Ghana. We love what Ghana does. We're proud of what Ghana does. So in our little way, or little big way actually, we're trying to just basically open people's eyes about people to promote,
My
to get, that's okay, you know, to get people's mind about the cocoa, the black gold.
Yeah.
Sometimes I call it the black gold.
Which it is.
You know?
It is.
You
It
know,
is
so,
the black gold. Yeah.
So we're collaborating. We're working with this organization, which is the cocoa marketing company. So this is a company that, you know, and then not just them. We're looking for other sponsors.
Yes.
We're looking for other organizations that want to be part of our journey, because of the audience that we have. If there's anything, they can actually, you know, get in touch with yourself or go on the website, Omega T, and then get in touch with one of the directors or anybody, one of the teams, to basically team members to, you know, and then we can give them more information. So as much as this company is supporting us, we're looking for the chocolate companies. We're looking for various organizations, but this year is cocoa. If you think about it, the past, where cocoa, the seedling came from into Ghana, so that in itself is history. That in itself guaranteed that not many of the young women that would be the contestants would know about the present, what is happening with, you know, cocoa in present, where suddenly we found out that we can actually use it for our hair, we use it for our body, we
like
use
shea
it to
butter,
eat. That's all of that stuff. So that, and then the future, where we think we're going with the, you know, cocoa, and what can be done, you know, as individuals here and back home in Ghana.
I know. I'm not going to interject myself, but I am actually going to, because I know for the past couple of years, Omega supported Miss Ghana.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And I'm not even, you know, I'm not going to throw shade. My producer, every time I say that Miss Ghana, whatever I'm doing, he tells me, drop it this first. Do you understand? So as much as like you're talking about all the stuff that supports you, Miss Ghana, Omega TV UK has done, giving us the platform for free. Do you understand?
Thank you.
And for that, producer Joe and Sadanswa, I can't, no, 100% for real though. You know, one thing, no, but you know, like sometimes you go to other platforms and they're just being shady. But I know my producer is going to say that, what did you say? What did you say? But the thing is, I want us to appreciate. Do you understand? Because the platform that he gives us, most people, because I'm there trying to coast you guys, and sometimes I go to a show and I tell producer, you know, I'm going to do this show, but Miss Ghana goes, okay, let's do Miss Ghana, because this is a community thing. This is our youth. You understand? So with me,
Omega has been you guys have been with us.
I know. And Young and Prolific is Omega TV, so I'm just throwing it out there. I ain't even been
just like throwing it out there.
I am throwing it out there.
The truth though, you guys have been, you know, amazing. You know, for so long, I can't even count years.
About 4 or 5 years.
But you know, you've always been amazing. So thank you for that.
So
honestly,
one of the things that I want to say to you is, I don't know how you guys do it. You know what? Because I look at you and I look at Mavis, and you guys still look young, and it's like, if there wasn't an age stuff, you guys could even pass for your Miss Ghana, because it's the things, you don't understand. You know, they say black don't crack. The sense of eloquence, the sense of glamour, you know, is it because you guys mix glamour, beauty, the sense of self-esteem, and I keep asking, when are you guys going to do the men's one? I know, I'm just doing and Mr. Ghana.
I think we touched on it once, some years back though. It was years ago. But it's hard work.
I know it's hard.
And you know, like you said earlier, we don't do things in house.
Which is true.
You know, we don't like to do things in house.
Ad hocly,
if we know that we're not going to get to the highest of it, then we would put it aside until we're ready. So we want to concentrate on Miss Ghana for now.
For 30 years,
I know.
You look,
So we went somewhere and someone said, Miss Ghana is 30. How old are you again? And they asked,
you're 26.
And us, we're like,
no, you're 26.
It's quite funny when you get those questions.
I know. But you guys,
So Mr. Ghana might happen somewhat, but we really want Miss Ghana UK to be solid and keep rising. You know.
One thing I liked was the fashion of Miss Ghana. I just felt that was fantastic, honestly. Because it's like I liked the costumes. I liked the way the girls would come up, and you know, the tradition we did different ethnicities, different, and I'm just looking at it that, wow, how do you guys get to choose?
So you do like I'll start off with tradition the tradition segment. For instance, it's kaba and slits. We don't do skirts.
Yes,
it has to be kaba and slits. It has
even
to
the
be,
swimming costume.
Yeah,
covered,
we have someone within the team that is, that's what she deals with, the fashion design, and she deals with that.
Okay.
But with regards to so if you look at this, for instance, you see that they've got one of the Dinkra symbols is a kente, another form of kente, and then she made sure she mixed it, and she's really good. She's been on the team for years. So for that, for instance, the tradition segment, we choose, it has to be kaba and slit.
Okay.
It can't be skirts. It can't be with a slit on. No, it has to be elegantly set, basically.
Yeah.
And then when we're doing the choreography, for instance, we have a gentleman that does it. When we teach them, when you're dancing, you need to think about what your slits will be like, because when you get on stage, you will not be able to dance like that. And if you think about it, in our parents all those years ago, kaba and slits, I'll say iraba fono,
which is true,
and you have to be a sense. So we try to make sure that the elegance that comes through when you're wearing your kaba and slit. When it comes to the evening wear, for instance, we're Ghana, UK.
Yeah.
So we make sure that you have a bit of the West and a bit of Africa.
That's it.
Together gives us that evening gowns that you see.
Yeah.
And we've noticed that it's so out there now, when the young women, the engagement, the way you see their kente evening wear, or all of that stuff. So we don't just, as you already said, we do sit down, think about it before we make those decisions. So the Western, we make sure that the Western and the Africa together, because that is where the young women live, and that is our evening segment. So yeah, I'm glad that you like them, because they're amazing, fantastic. And they choose, to be honest, they choose their own designers.
Yeah.
We give them the information and choose their designers. But when it comes to, with regards to the traditions, for instance, we do have an organization that will sponsor us. Like, you have those fabric companies in Ghana that will sponsor. Sometimes, we get a company will sponsor, and then we will purchase the cloth. Other times you have companies like GTP and the others that will sponsor us. So yeah, that's how we
okay, so if somebody wants to start applying, because I know you guys in the application stage, can you just give us where they can start, what they can do?
Yeah. So you just have to go onto the website, which is www.missghanauk.co.uk, and if you go through it, you get to the application form, complete it, and then someone will, everything there asks you to attach your photograph and all of that stuff. It's just quite simple, and then you do that, and then we will get in touch with you. If not, you can actually go into all our various socials, which is Instagram, and then Facebook, there's X, and then there's TikTok. We're all there as well, and you can find the links and then apply.
Okay, so if somebody wants to ask a question before they apply, because sometimes somebody might want to apply but they're not confident enough, is there any way they can contact you guys before they apply, or they have to apply before you contact them?
Oh, no, they can apply. They can send us an email. Okay. And the email is info@missghanauk.co.uk, or they can go on the page, any of our socials, message us, and someone will get in touch with you. We're happy to talk, because we want the young women to know what they're getting, and just remind them as to what they will get at the end, to give them the confidence that it's really not rocket science, but you have to, you have to
exhibit some sense of desire.
No,
because if you don't have that desire to do something,
what's the point? You're going to waste your time, and you waste our time.
Precisely.
So it's good to ask the questions if you have it.
That's before you apply. Before you apply. Want to,
but if not, you can apply, and then auditions, we can have a chat. But either is fine.
Okay, so when people apply, is there a selection process, or once they apply, before you vet them?
No.
Or you get back to them.
When they apply, we get in touch with them. We let them know, the next stage,
Okay.
which is the auditions.
Okay.
And then once the dates are set, then we have the auditions. And then once we do the auditions, we do the selection. After the auditions, then we contact them to let them know that they've come
whether
through.
they've gone through.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you're looking at, when you're going through the applications, I'm not sort of like trying to give anybody something to be. Is there something that would let somebody stand out, or you just look at the application stuff, just take everybody in, and it's when you meet them that
And they do attach a photograph, a full-length photograph.
Okay.
And that's it. But we try our best not to discriminate. We try our best not to make them feel a certain way, like, oh, you're not good enough. No, we don't do that. That's not what we're there for. So no, it's just a simple application, and then you attach your photograph, a full-length photograph, and then we take it from there.
Okay,
the first time we meet them properly is during the auditions.
Okay. So, you know, when they've gone through the process, now you've got, how many girls do you choose at the end of, let's say 100 people apply? What numbers do you scale down to?
It depends. So it really depends in the sense that, again, we don't like doing things in-house. So we don't want to have so many young women and you're not able to, if you do that, then we spread ourselves thin.
Okay.
So we won't get over 20 young women.
Okay.
No. We will try and have enough
Scale it
that
down,
we can
yeah.
work with.
Okay.
To the best of our ability. So yes, that's what we do. So it's not, if we get one person we will work with, but we don't. It will, because then there's no competition.
Precisely.
And it will not be fun. So it's best to have, we have at least, I think 2017, we probably had 20 young women.
Yeah.
You know, so it does depend on the group that comes through.
Okay, we've only got 3 minutes, but what I wanted to say to you.
Are you kidding? 3 minutes already?
Remember, I was telling you that. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Remember, I told you because. Okay, before the 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we've got the 3 minutes, and producer, please let me ask this last question. You know, people feel that you guys are part of the judging process. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you guys have got independent people that judge it, which has got nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And I just want that to be actually, as somebody said, let me put it on their record.
Yes. Yeah. So no, we definitely are not part of the judging. We make sure of that. We know how our people
Our
are.
community is.
Our community, not just our community. I think everywhere people always assume, hey, you know, like they've done some. We're not part of it.
Yeah.
You know. So we have a judge. The judges don't even usually know that they
independent of.
They don't know that they're going to judge on that day.
Oh, okay.
Because what happens is we select. We know who we want. We want B to be a judge. B doesn't know that she's a judge, but B has been invited. So you've been invited to the show like a normal person, but you're VIP. When you come, then we give you a few minutes and say, okay, B, you're judging today.
Yeah.
And the look on their faces is usually funny, like, how? The reason why we do that is because, maybe I can use the word incestuous.
Yeah.
Ghanaians we're very incestuous in the sense that you know this person's sister's mother's daughter's cousin. You know that. We're very wide like that. So if you know so many people, and you might know someone on the stage. So if we tell B that B is judging and B says, I'm judging this Ghana 25, and then they're like, oh, my daughter's sister's friend is on the stage.
The friend that know their sister's daughter, that's the one that I'm not even going to make sure that you don't get it.
But
because of the biasness. Unfortunately, that's the way that I hear
but
it.
That's the reason why we try not to tell the, that's the reason why we don't let the judges know that they're judging.
Okay.
You know.
So one last question. What plans do you have for Africa as Miss Ghana? Because I know you're just doing Miss Ghana.
Yeah.
But what plans do you have?
For Africa?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, a lot. We've been doing stuff already.
Yeah.
So as part of the foundation, we have the various initiatives that we do back home.
Yeah.
Maybe we're doing stuff in Ghana.
Yeah.
You know, but we can move further to another country. But you know, as they say, charity begins at home.
100%.
So we've begun at home, and we do a lot. We support orphanages. We support the girl child quite a bit. Not to say that if a boy child was to come up, we would not support. No, that's not it. But we support, you know, various organizations like charities, orphanages. We support the Accra Psychiatric. We support, there's a young women orphanage in Winneba. It's all girls. I think there's about 25 or so of them. We support them. So God willing, and then the schools, the 2 schools that I told you about with regards to the a pound a pad. So we're trying to push our initiatives everywhere, and we're kind of, you know, spreading ourselves too thin, because when it comes to all these things, finance is a big thing.
So if we can get good sponsorship,
if we can get
then we can other countries.
Other countries would love
in terms
to,
of orphanage. Okay.
But what we would love to do is the girl, you know, not that we're discriminating, but the girl child. We can even start going in there with our, you know, a pound for a pad, because I said this to the previous deputy, that if it wasn't for our period, none of us will be here.
Which is true.
Fact.
100%.
So we would want to look into these things and to try maybe spread it along to Africa, even if we can get the support. Oh my gosh, we would love to get Miss Ghana the sanitary towel.
Yes, which is true.
You know, because is women, young women. Without this, none of us will be here.
Okay, so your last words before I kind of close.
Okay.
Yes. Please.
So 2 things. Can it be two sentences?
Yeah.
So first and foremost, is sponsorship.
Yes.
We really do need sponsors. We have plans to make this year another amazing year. And to do this, we want to be able to take that young woman to a home. You know, we have an activity week that we can actually, but we can't do all of this just on the budget, the money that we have. So we really, really need the support from sponsors. And then also secondly, the young women can go on to the www.missghanauk.co.uk application, fill in, send in your beautiful photos, and we'll take the rest from there.
Sis, thank you so much for coming down. I am so appreciative that you came. I know that your other half, May, would come, I think, in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
So when she comes to, she's going to come and give us a breakdown, because this is the recruiting stage.
That's it.
So we're just doing that.
Yeah.
But today is a bank holiday, and thank everybody. But before I thank anybody, I have to thank my producer.
Thank you. Thank you, team.
No,
thank
team,
you
know what? 100%. So I want to thank everybody too that tuned in. I know there were a few questions that were sent, but because I wanted people to get, because I know your other half is becoming in a couple of weeks, then I'll ask those questions. But I want to thank everybody, and please share. Everybody that tuned in today, thank you for giving me your time. I appreciate you guys, and I love you guys, and please have a lovely evening, and God bless.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Welcome.
I say us because Miss Ghana UK is a a team. So 100%. Thank you for having me as well.
But thank you, and have a nice evening.
Please make some noise for your winner of Miss Ghana UK, your contestant number